In September 2024, the FEDS swooped down at Diddy over at a hotel in New York City, and they charged him with racketeering, conspiracy under the RICO Act, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The Diddler man would use his right to a speedy trial, and he would beat the racketeering charge, he would beat the sex trafficking charge, but he was found guilty of the 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, a lot of people thought that Diddy would get a federal bond and he would be out on that bond, just living life until he was sentenced, because these were the lesser of the charges. But no, the judge said, hey, your black ass is staying in jail. And to me, that was one of many alarming signs that Diddy was not going to get time served like a lot of people suspected. I mean, we even saw his son outside doing push-ups outside of the courtroom because he just knew his papa was coming home.
They can't please, I can't watch the fist. They ain't never fancy. First, they trying to dap it. They try to on the family. They brothers, but they can't be. This Bible might come in handy. This right for might come in handy. Everybody watches, trust the answer. Sit down if you can't stand me. God bless. God bless. They want to stop the kid. Just like how I'm living, the shit is too easy. Switching it up. I fill you up like this drink in my cup. Ass so fast, she toss and make it jump. She throw it back on me, dropping my blunt. I get paid and stuff.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
So happy. Big fan from Sweden.
Thank you. We appreciate all the love. Diddy's free. Let's go. Diddy's free. Spread the word.
Fast forward to today, October 3rd, which seemed to be the longest sentencing hearing that I've ever seen in my life. Diddy's legal team would recommend that he got time served and he would be able to hit the streets today. And the prosecution was recommending 11 years, which seemed to be a bit extreme for me, for somebody who never was convicted of a felony, to give them double-digit years. For transportation, some prostitutes, nah, that seems a little bit unreasonable in my book. Everybody would plead why they felt that he should get his sentence to what they recommended today, and it wouldn't disappoint. On Diddy's side, he offered a remorseful statement in court apologizing to the victims, his children, and domestic violence survivors, describing his past behavior as shameful and acknowledged his abuse. Also, his defense played a 12-minute video montage showing his charitable efforts, family life, and community involvement, apparently to humanize him and support his mitigation. They even said at points he shed some crocodile tears, he got a little emotional, and he was seen wiping his face as his lawyer handed him a tissue. His lawyer also made emotional arguments about his positive influence and legacy, while his family spoke in his favor. Now, the judge addressed victims in court, especially Cassie Ventura and a woman that was identified as Jane, which we looked at as 50's baby and mama, saying we heard you, acknowledging their courage to come forward. One victim was scheduled to speak, identified as Mia, a former assistant who pulled out. Prosecutors said she withdrew after receiving a bullying letter from Combs' legal team. And they said that Diddy was already booking gigs while in prison, so they felt like he wasn't remorseful. He was just ready to get out and handle business. Now, the judge would find both of their arguments a little bit ridiculous, one too light, one too overboard. And he would sentence Diddy to 50 months. That would be 4 years and 2 months to be exact, in a federal prison. He was fined $500,000, which is the max allowable under the law for these convictions. And he will be under supervised release for 5 years after serving his prison term.
a note in a matter of moments, but right now we know this sentence has just been handed down from the judge. 4 years behind bars. Like you mentioned, defense attorneys wanted a 14-month sentence, saying that the time Diddy has already spent behind bars was adequate punishment, arguing today that Diddy's businesses and reputation have already been destroyed. Prosecutors, on the other hand, said Diddy was not sorry and that his apology was phony and that there was some serious harm done to the victims of this case. Like you said, they wanted a sentence of at least 11 years. Ultimately, we know a sentence has now been shared with the court of 4 years behind bars for Sean Diddy Combs.
CB Cotton, thank you. Let's bring in now attorney Kelly Hyman, who's been on the top of this story on her podcast, and Fox News contributor Greg Jarrett. Greg, I'm going to ask you to start really quickly. What do you make of this sentence, 4 years?
He should consider himself fortunate. Probation department said 6 to 7 years. Prosecutors wanted 11. 20 was the max. He does 4 less the 13 months he's already served. But I think this punishment really came down to the hideous violence.
Now, he already had time already served, approximately 12 to 14 months, which will be credited toward his sentence. So he's looking at about 2.5 years left if he stays on good behavior and serves his 85 mandatory percent that the feds require. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty, because in my personal opinion, I thought that people were out of their minds if they thought that Diddy was going to be walking away today. And that's only because I think that Diddy is now on the wrong side of the powers that be, and people are trying to teach him a lesson. And I also think that he did things that the judge didn't like. He seemed pretty entitled. He was cussing out his legal team, as well as staring at the jury. Like I said, I think that his son didn't help him by doing the push-ups outside of the courtroom, making rap disses against the federal government, saying y'all searched the wrong house. I think all of this in conjunction played a role in Diddy not being able to leave today. And clearly this judge has a little bit of bias when he's saying, hey man, there are victims and strong women in this case. I disagree. The same male prostitutes that got hired by Diddy, which were for Cassie, who she picked out, said, yo, Cassie was the one who paid me. Cassie was the one who was texting me outside of just the prostitution because we had similar birthdays and things of that nature. Cassie was the one disrespecting Diddy about his size and all of these things in the bedroom. And honestly, she was just a coked out, turned up hoe. And she had immunity because she was with it. She was committing these crimes as well. But it's easy to make the woman the sole victim of the situation. To me, the feds tried to make this story black and white, and it wasn't, in my personal opinion. Do I think that Diddy was wrong at times? Yes. Did we see him put his hands on Cassie, which I definitely think was the #1 contributing factor to this sentencing? Yes. Was it right? No. Was he on trial for that? No. So in my personal opinion, I think that the judge gave him an unfair sentence, but he had to make sure that it wasn't too crazy. I think that the feds learned a valuable lesson and stop overreaching when it comes to Diddy. But maybe not, because technically they got a conviction and they got Diddy in jail for a lengthy amount of time. So they think that their work is done. But I've seen lately that the feds seem to try to get a little too cute. And we're learning that if you got money, that you probably can beat them, or you could at least get lesser time. Now, do I think that Diddy probably deserved this time? Yes, because it seems like he spiraled out of control sometimes. He'll have a few years, hopefully, of being sober, getting his mind right, getting closer to God, and maybe he will come out a reformed man. So maybe this will be good for him. Shit, sometimes you gotta do that time and get humbled to be on a different path, because we saw the Young Thug. It seemed like he didn't get enough time because he got out and still was on the same tomfoolery. So y'all let me know what y'all think down below, man. Do y'all agree with the time that Diddy got? Do you think he should have got less? Do you think he should have got more? Let me know down below, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, and we out, baby. Boom! fire.
It's him.